A village graveyard lies with no recent burials. A school without the laughter of children. Even the phone box is locked. Deep in the Purbeck Hills in Dorset lies the ruined village of Tyneham. Its residents packed up and left 6 days before Christmas 1943. Why did they leave so suddenly? And why did they not return? One such resident is Douglas Churchill. In his 70s, he still works a farm, just as he did at Tyneham.
The army moved into every available house. They was training the troops, the tanks and that, for the invasion. You was doing your little bit for the war effort, and you felt that you was doing something for allowing them having your home. There was some wonderful chaps, some of those troops were. Some of the wives, you see, night time, come in, they had no recreation, and play games of cards with us.
Today, Douglas will return to Tyneham, the place where he grew up.
This is the last time I shall ever go back there.
Rodney Legg has campaigned for the last 30 years to get the villagers back.
I heard about the villagers and that they had been promised they could return at the end of the war, and it was Churchill's pledge that had never been honoured. So it became my teenage rebellion, going there, taking photographs, exploring it. It was then a real tangle. It became my campaign. It started a Dorset County magazine and had Surrender Purbeck as the headline. We were creating waves, and the army then used to demolish the buildings that we had used as the backdrop to our story, and we were bringing back old villagers. You know, they were born here with posters saying they're born here 60 years ago, and John Gould wants to come home. Well, sadly, most of those have now died off, and indeed the next generation are now fading away too. So we were losing the human interest thing, but the decisive problem that caused me to pull the plug on the campaign was that although we were close to success and stood a real chance of getting the army out, had we done so, instead of the land being preserved by the National Trust or becoming a national park and being respected for the wildlife reservoir that it had become, and it was made perfectly clear to us that at least two of the key owners would either turn it into agricultural land, as already had been done at Kimmeridge, and virtually ploughed up all these ancient field systems. Everything would have been trashed. We just saw all that we had done. Instead of getting the public back, we wouldn't even get our remaining tenants back. So I then agreed a compromise with the army. They threw public access at the problem in a way that was unprecedented for a live firing range of any kind, let alone one in daily use for banging off tanks. So it was a success, and I'm happy with the results. I'm happy that the army stays and the people can come here at the weekends.
How did the residents find somewhere new to live? Tyneham curator Paul Fancy reveals how they found new lives.
With more and more mechanisation coming in on the land, there weren't so many jobs in agriculture, so people were leaving the village communities and moving to the towns to find work. Consequently, in 1943, when they did get their secret letters to move out, and they have 4 weeks to quit, although it was done very hush-hush, the word soon got out that what was happening, and before long there were sort of like notes appearing in the church about 2 cottages available in Kimmeridge, 3 available in West Lulworth, 2 available in East Lulworth. 5 available at Worthmer Travis. And this was just very much because these were rural communities who were in decline as well.
Douglas has returned to Tyneham for the final time.
I was late 13 when I left school and went to work on the farm up to Tyneham. That's where I lived too. A very large farmhouse. They pulled the house down what they weren't going to restore. And for some unknown reason the house had to come down, which had the large house had a stone slate roof, and which they did. A lot of the farmhouses up in these parts, large flat stones, and about the middle of the house was where my bedroom was. Everybody in those days knew everybody. Miss Longman, she married a local soldier and moved away. Some of the pegs to the school have brought back a lot of memories. They had to walk up to church on Sunday mornings. When Sylvia House married Jerry Braceby from Blackmiston Farm on down further, come out after the cows of Sunday afternoon, and they were going to get married, and we made a daisy chain and hung across that gate there. When she got out of the car outside, she ducked her head in under and went in and got married. When I was coming back with the cows, I remember coming back and forgot to duck her head and broke the daisy chain. Bertram Taylor, and I knew him for many years. I didn't know he got killed.
Did Tyneham die for England? Or has it received a new lease of life?
Anyone who comes down here at a weekend doesn't see a dead village. They see a village full of life. There's lots of people around. At weekends they come down and they enjoy walking around the village, looking at the school and the church and looking at how people lived, taking a walk down to Walborough Beach and seeing how, bathing in the waters in the summer that the people in Tyneham used to bathe until like 50 years ago. And I suppose the main thing is, because man can't get into this area for a great deal of the year, it is totally unspoiled. It's never been intensively farmed. There's no chemicals on the ground. Because of that, the wildlife is second to none in the area.
The future for Tyneham is very much its present. I can't see things changing radically because, as I say, tanks won't be disinvented. The scenery is going to remain as wonderful as ever, and the world and his wife are going to come to admire it. And thankfully, at the moment, that's being done without any veneer of commercialism, and people come to a place that hasn't got any facilities in terms of what tourists have come to expect across the globe. And that is absolutely amazing, and long may it continue.